All right, we got a very special gaming jam-packed episode. How you doing, brother? Playing?
You know the vibes, baby.
Oh, big
We're
vibes,
back.
big vibes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We took a week off after the holiday. It was well deserved, well needed. Some of us were cooking. Other ones of us, listen, we were working, but we were working on something else. Okay. So we were working on new aspects for the show, which I think we made a little bit of progress. Would you say?
Yeah, I think so. There's still way more to do, but I mean, as of right now, we're going.
Yeah, there's always gonna be more stuff to do. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's episode. If you guys were not aware, let's just go ahead and get it out of the way. There are free games available on the Steam store, which I'm sure a bunch of you guys already know that if you participate in Steam summer sales. 25 new free games have just gone on sale or are free, actually. Excuse me, sorry, I misread that because I'm fucking stupid. Those games including The Cards Were Dealt, Chrono Rift, Moonflower, Warrior's Path, High Rise Guardian, and many other games. Shadow Warrior 3, let's see, what else is in here?
Oh, Shadow Warrior 3, really?
Yes, sir. So there is a ton of free games going on right now. But not the definitive edition, it looks like. I'm just seeing that as a tweet reply, so I don't know how somebody replied to the tweet that I was reading, so I don't know how accurate that is. I wasn't tweeted by the original source, so take that with a grain of salt. But anyway, yeah, if you guys are looking forward to free games, they're available on Steam. There's actually different settings that you can do in the search and look for just discounted games and set the I think you can set the dollar filter to like under $1 and it'll show you everything there. But be careful, it's gonna show you shit that you probably didn't want either. So
yeah,
all those free
be aware
hentai
of
games.
the insane games that they have on the Steam store for some
Yes,
reason.
some of the stuff that they allow on the Steam store is absolutely insane. So there's that. So, but that leads me into the next part of our conversation because, you know, we don't give a shit. Let's talk about these antitrust concerns and blah, 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 blah. The gaming industry is fucking dead, basically. So one of the articles that I actually found this week was some antitrust concerns that the FTC was having. Basically, like a few members of the FTC. I'm not going to read the whole fucking article, but basically, if you've been living under a rock for the past month or 2 months, really, Microsoft recently acquired, Activision Blizzard, and so now they own all of the Call of Duty franchise. Skylanders, if you're into that, so that includes Spyro. Hey, shut the fuck up, okay? That's a classic. All right. So now they own all of the Call of Duty games, and not only did they restore every single Call of Duty multiplayer online. You can literally go on Modern Warfare 2 on your Xbox 360 and turn it on and get into a match. So every single one is playable. Every single one is also available on Game Pass, which means all of the originals are finally available on PC. So, Plank, how we feeling about that?
Man, this case was super ongoing. We were reading articles about it as well. And we did a couple of videos on it, and it was a long time coming. I really appreciate this because at the end of the day, Activision, they were making dog shit.
True.
So hopefully with Microsoft having a big input and shit and being on Game Pass, we'll hopefully get better value for gamers everywhere.
Yeah, it's actually bringing up a different conversation, which we'll get into in a second, because a couple of things have happened ever since this acquisition went through. Specifically, Xboxes are selling out everywhere. You can't get a single, I mean, obviously you can now, but at the time, you couldn't get Xboxes on Amazon, Best Buy. Like, they were selling out so quickly, and then even resellers were starting to, like, come back, like have a resurgence for a while, which I thought was very, very interesting. Just because like even older Xbox consoles have now shot up in price. So you can go on eBay and find Xbox 360s are now getting close to $300 to $400. So almost the original price that they were when they dropped. Yeah, I know, which is super fucking crazy. For an Xbox 360, I need to grab me one. Because I want to play some of the dancing games, you know. Yeah, I gotta get my dance on. But yeah, it presents another thing outside of that. And many people have raised concerns specifically with exclusivity. So during the FTC hearing, multiple times, Phil Spencer has pointed out the unfairness between Sony and all of its licenses, as well as Xbox and theirs. So really, they were kind of snitching on themselves, because even one of the chairmans, or like one of the chair people or whatever, I forget what the fuck they're called, cited that majority of the people outside of the gaming industry do not know anything about exclusivity. They do not know anything about console exclusives, and he cited multiple times that Microsoft has had Xbox, Gears of War, Forza, Halo, Flight Simulator, stuff like that, which has been seen as quote-unquote unfair to the industry, as well as Sony PlayStation's The Last of Us, Marvel, Spider-Man, God of War, Uncharted, and Infamous franchises. So this has really brought up very, very interesting things, because out of all of these games that were cited, not one time during the FTC hearing was Nintendo cited for their exclusivity. Because Phil Spencer came up with I call it an excuse. He basically gave the example of what's called bundling, which is allowing console makers to sell their hardware for significantly less by bundling in exclusive games. So essentially they can make it, they lose $200 every single sale, is specifically with Xbox, just so that way people can have the console and be part of the ecosystem. That same chairman also highlights the importance of Call of Duty and how that has, the sale of that has drastically, would reduce the large gap between Sony and Microsoft. So let me ask you a question. As far as like revenue, what do you think Sony has made since the drop of the PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
This is including like all video game sales, selling PS4s, PS4 Pros, PS5s, games, everything. Like if you had to take a shot in the dark.
A few billion? Maybe 2 billion?
2 billion.
We'll say.
Okay. That's a good number. That's a very respectable number.
A little conservative, to be honest.
That's
You're
very
talking about
conservative.
all sales.
That's very conservative. Yes. So Sony's video game revenue has reached $16.5 billion, which is $4.2 billion more than Microsoft's $12.3 billion. After adding Activision's game revenue as well as their catalog, which grossed $6.9 billion, was added to Microsoft's already reduced disparity of their revenue. It reduced it by, by 1.5 billion. So the difference between Sony and Microsoft now is only 2.7 billion since these consoles dropped. Okay. So take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, that's actually not that bad. So
considering how bad it feels like they've been losing, that's actually really good.
True. And, a lot of people have also been concerned that, with Xbox fully embracing Call of Duty and them promising, hey, we're not going to make it exclusive for 10 years. That's the current promise. I don't know if that's in writing. I don't know if that's verbal, but that is what has been stated, that Microsoft will not make Call of Duty an exclusive for at least 10 years, which is very interesting because people online have pointed out that the franchise has really been dog shit. Like, the peak really was Black Ops 2. Lifetime sales of the series have plateaued from 2014 to 2022, with only 25 million units sold in between that time. Whereas in comparison to the 100 million copies of Call of Duty games overall that have been sold between just 2019 and 2021. So that gap is redonkulous. Like,
Very big.
yeah, it's literally less than a quarter of how much they regularly sell. So, yeah, I don't know. And then they compared that to Marvel's Spider-Man, which only has 2 expansions or 2 installments to the game, which is in total grossed 33 million units just in 2 years. So let that sink in. I don't know.
Big Spider-Man.
Yeah,
He repping.
big Spider-Man putting the Venom BBC on the table. You know what the fuck going on?
The what?
Game exclusivity. I said what I said. So, you know. But
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
nah, don't pretend. You heard what I said. Get that shit in your ears.
Oh nah.
So, but yeah, man, I'm interested to ask, what do you think now that it's becoming more of a global issue? I don't want to say global issue, but now more of a legal issue. Like, I'm gonna be frank, this is becoming a legal issue about exclusivity. Do you think we're gonna see exclusivity like going forward in the next? Yeah, like, do you think that's gonna change anytime soon?
I think a big part of it, a big part of like console wars and like the competition is technically the exclusives. So I don't think they'll ever necessarily die out unless there's like a really big platform that that like you can't live without, right? You're putting your game on. But I think for the Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony wars, I think there'll always have to be exclusives. But I would like it if exclusivity was gone, because that would make it so that my PC is very nice.
True. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. This might be a little different. So give me a second. Let me cook this up real quick, because I personally would like to see more exclusives. I want everybody to be segregated. Yes, sir. I want them to be divided but not equal, because there are certain shit. Yes, sir. I'm not putting Splatoon on my PlayStation. You're out of your fucking mind. Okay. Oh, shit. And not only that, it's like Phil Spencer said, these are console sellers. So yep. Having more exclusives, especially in-house, like really, like if we're thinking about it, especially after all of these PlayStation acquisitions, all of these Microsoft acquisitions, 200 plus studios on both sides getting smacked up, like smaller studios, larger studios, like fucking Bethesda being an in-house Microsoft studio at this point is actually insane. This FTC hearing, honestly, and after seeing Activision get swooped up like this, if you think Sony's not coming back with like, hey, they need Spider-Man to hit. They need Spider-Man to hit so bad, which it will, of course. They need Spider-Man to hit so fucking hard because they're buying Square Enix, for sure. They're not only, I predict in the next year, they're buying Square Enix, they're buying From Software, and maybe
FromSoft.
Yeah. Maybe one other studio they're probably buying, for sure.
Man, if what is it? Dark Souls, that series, ever became a console exclusive, hey man, I would cry.
Yeah, that's it. You gotta wrap it up.
I love that game.
They'll probably allow it on PC, because you know they're putting PlayStation on PC now.
Yeah, they love that shit.
Which sounds like amazing branding. I'm not gonna lie. PlayStation on PC, like it's just got a ring to it. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to play God of War on your PC, shit. Ratchet and Clank on your PC. Now, if they could figure out a better way to integrate those two platforms, that would be lovely. Because currently the way it is, it's dog shit. It fucking sucks.
Buggy.
It's buggy as shit. Not just putting the game's software on the Steam store is not enough. Like it's not enough. I don't think they need to go as far as creating their own launcher, but maybe that might be a good way to do it, because having your own launcher would. I know it sucks because we hate third-party launchers. They're fucking awful. Majority of them are actual fucking viruses. So
they're definitely bloatware.
Yeah, for sure bloatware. But putting everything on the Steam store is not enough, because it does not allow you to integrate your actual, like, it's a hard, like, Sony is a hardware software company. So being able to actually develop proprietary software so that way it can run on majority of PCs would actually be better for them than it would somebody like an Activision Blizzard with a Battle.net or Ubisoft with whatever the fuck they are. As well as like Origin. And now that Origin's finally getting the fuck up out of here, thank God we're packing that shit up. Woo!
It's not gone. It changed names.
That shit changed names, but we packing that bitch up out of here. Yes, sir. Because
it's still
now that they have
playing and still bad.
They still have they're trying to do the Steam integration, right? Where your Origin games launch through Steam now or some shit like that. It uses the same exe file or some shit.
I'm not sure, but they still go through EA right now.
Yeah, they still go through
that's
EA.
That's just not happening right now.
Yeah. So fuck that shit. But yeah, I think this would be, Xbox Game Pass has its own, the Xbox Games launcher. Which still doesn't work on my fucking computer for some reason. Blue screens my shit every single fucking time. Yeah, big tough. Especially because they're like, hey, get 6 months for $1. I'm like, why are y'all tempting me like this? You know I can't play any of these fucking games. So I think having a PlayStation on PC launcher would, honestly, that would be the thing to make me not buy a PlayStation console ever again. Because as much as I love owning a PlayStation branded console, like I still have my PS2, my PS3 is sitting over here, both versions of my PS3, my PS4 Pro, and then my PS5 is under my desk. Like, it's great, but I really would like one central place to kind of like have all of my PlayStation items, especially if you do a PlayStation on PC type of branding and you allow all digital games to be played that you own. PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PSP, even PS Vita, fuck it. Like, you have access to, and you can play it as long as you have access to a, DualShock 4, DualSense, or DualSense Pro controller, or whatever the fuck. You have 6-axis motion, you have motion controls and shit like that. You can play all of those games with a PS5 controller. Like, why not? Like, allow that to happen. That would be so fucking dope, man. Then you could put PS2 classics on there. You could have more people have access to PlayStation Plus and the collection and shit like that. I wonder if that would bring more revenue than just trying to traditionally sell consoles. I'm so interested to know that. So, but
I think one thing you got to realize is that Sony and all their greatness is also, they're sometimes a little airheaded. Because slow. I remember when they ported, what is it, Metal Gear Solid 1 onto PC, and you had to go through GOG? Mm-hmm. Or was it PlayStation? I don't remember. You had to go through GOG. Ugh. I think that was you remember when they took off Hideo Kojima's name off of it?
Yeah, I remember. Damn, we were wilding in the Discord that day.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But they kind of get a little lazy, the Sony does. So that's why I'm a little afraid of their own launcher, because, hey, that might be nice, but they also could easily fuck that shit up. It could just be another bloatware launcher like any of these other fucking annoying launchers.
Yeah, especially because, they don't really have the smartest people working over there. Now, if they would like to throw your boy a check, get me in the room with the whiteboard and a 20-person team, let's go. Let's make it happen. I can't do any of the programming, but, I tell other people what to do.
Yeah, you're gonna sit there and be like, hey, this is what you got to do. Yeah. But you have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I want the icons to look like this, and I want it to make this specific noise. Man, if I'm telling you, if they put me in the trenches, right, and they let me just go crazy with the design team, I want the fucking PlayStation on PC launcher to launch. You can choose the launch sound. You can make it turn on and it sounds like the PS2 or the PS1 or any of the PlayStation platforms, right? And then it would have dynamic themes, my boy. Ooh, the dynamic themes would go fucking crazy. And you wouldn't even need it because it's just a fucking launcher. Like, who gives a shit about the themes? But still at the same time, that look, that feel, it would feel like PlayStation. You know what I mean? Oh, man, that shit would hit. That shit would just... Sony, you just gotta give me a shout out, man. Come on. Let's make this happen, man. let's make this happen. Shit.
Yeah,
So
but that shit wouldn't happen because even if they did hire you, they'd be like, "Oh, you on this timing," and they'd tell you exactly what you have to do. There's no like evolution, like there's no creativity in it. You got to do it this way, and that's it.
Yeah, they wouldn't.
That's what sucks.
They wouldn't let me go crazy, man. So, no, I don't understand it. So, but in the meantime, today. I'm actually doing something very interesting that I haven't done in a while. I'm installing a PS2, PS3. I don't really need a PS4 emulator, but yeah, a PS2 and a PS3 emulator on my computer because I've tried 3 different Switch emulators and they're all kind of ass. Like, yeah. The one I was using the most was Ryujinx. That one was pretty cool. Which, by the way, fuck Nintendo. Shout out to them. Yeah. But speaking of fuck Nintendo, I pulled up another article. So the Dolphin emulator that got kicked off of Steam a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I was actually really sad about that.
Yeah. So it actually turns out let me see. The head developer says that Nintendo's claim that they're ripping their, IP, they have recently spoken to a lawyer. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to fucking speak and read at the same time. He says, and I quote, "Now that we've talked to a lawyer, we are no longer concerned with Nintendo. The lawyers representing Nintendo wish to create a narrative where the DMCA's exemption do not apply to us, as these exemptions are powerful and widely in our favor." Which is so very interesting. I'm not going to go into the whole article just because it gets into the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, which is the same thing that exists on YouTube. So that way we can, it basically, further amplifies fair use and things like that, especially if, you don't have, proprietary something or other or whatever.
Big lawyer word.
Yeah, big lawyer word. Basically, hey, if you don't have a way to stop me, and I'm doing this for educational purposes or for as an open source, there's basically loopholes that exist in the law that says, hey, I can use your shit. So that's lawyer jargon. And they said they're gonna try and put it back on Steam. So
really, I saw an article where that shit. They said, "Hey, we cutting this shit out. This should not happen."
Yes, sir. That was a couple weeks ago. They threw that shit off. They rejected it off of Steam, but due to recent developments, they're going to try and get it back on there. So they just have to go through this DMCA legal battle with Nintendo, which is going to be very interesting because I see that being a huge W in the industry, but also a big fat fucking L because there are limitations to... the reason why Nintendo is vastly fucking successful with their man-children fucking fan base is because you can't get those games anywhere else. You can't play Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda. You can't play that shit anywhere else. You have to have their little fucking handheld touchscreen Game Boy shit. You have to have their fucking... That's basically all they've ever made, except for the GameCube. Their nunchucks and their other proprietary bullshit. You've had to be part of their stupid fucking ecosystem. But now that the games are getting ISO'd, ripped, and emulated onto significantly better platforms, let's be honest, because being able to play Tears of the Kingdom at 60 frames a second, and then if you really... I figured out how to overclock my card the other day by just 3%. I get 120 frames, which is not intended for Tears of the Kingdom to be played at, by the way. So that game runs buttery smooth. Can I stream it or record it? Not really. That's when my computer starts chugging, so I gotta figure out where the bottleneck is. But that's technical jargon for, listen, my shit is just not ready for the big leagues. So I think this is very interesting because if they win this case, that leaves the door open for so many more things to be emulated, ripped, copied, and it just opens the floodgates. You know what I mean? Because right now, the way stuff is, if you emulated shit, you legally can get away with it if you own a copy of it. If you own a copy of whatever game you're ripping or whatever game you're trying to ISO or anything like that, you're within your legal rights to do so because you own a copy of it. But if you don't, and you're just downloading that shit off the internet, bro, what's that old 2000s fucking ad, you wouldn't download a car, would you? Like, yes, the fuck I would. Um, so yeah, we get into that territory, and everything is gonna be like ripped and uncontrollable at that point, which I guess isn't too bad because gaming preservation is in a weird spot to where like a ton. I think I saw like an article that only 38% of games that have come out since like the late 2000s, which is basically like 2010 and on, have been preserved. Like you can buy physical copies of it. Like you can go online on Amazon or on eBay or whatever, and then the rest are just lost to time. Which, man, you really think about it, like if there's a ton of video games that you'll never be able to play ever again. Like they just don't physically exist. Like a collector has them somewhere, or you know, they're lying in a ditch somewhere, which kind of sucks. So maybe digital preservation is probably going to be the only way we keep a lot of that stuff, but I don't know who's gonna house any of that shit, so I don't know how that's gonna work. Which would be very interesting with my PlayStation on PC idea, because if you rip some PlayStation 1 ISOs, I wonder if you could. Well, that might be a question for the development team. So you know, when Sony hires me, we'll figure that out. Because you know, if you could just get some emulators or some ISOs online and then run them through the PlayStation emulator, or not even the PlayStation emulator, run it through the PlayStation on PC launcher, you'd have a way to play the game. I think that's how that works. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fucking rocket scientist, so I don't fucking know.
I'm looking at this article from Dolphin themselves, and it seems like we're not actually getting a Steam release.
We're not? Oh no.
No. They're not fighting in court. They're just they said they're legally sound and all that, and Nintendo didn't like actually DMCA them.
Okay. Interesting.
They're gonna keep continuing to work on the project, and they're probably not gonna get DMCA'd by Nintendo specifically. But Nintendo did say that, hey, they don't want
it on Steam.
They don't want it on Steam. Yeah.
Interesting. So they're not fully taking it down.
The emulator, no, but the Steam release, it seems like it's up to Valve if they want to do it, but they're probably not gonna allow Dolphin on Steam.
Okay. And correct me, I think Dolphin is GameCube, Wii U. What else? They got Switch, right?
I don't think they're a Switch emulator. I think it's just Wii, GameCube, and maybe Wii U. It depends. I don't know about
what
Wii
games
U,
you playing on that platform, by the way, because I can't, outside of Smash Bros, I can't really and Kirby Air Ride, I can't really think of any other games I would play on there. Twilight Princess, maybe.
Me and my friend played through Parsec and Dolphin. We played Sonic Ride, like what's that shit called? The Sonic game, Sonic Air Ride. Is it the Air Ride? The first one, whatever the first one.
I was gonna say Air Ride's the Xbox one.
Nah, it was what the Sonic Riders? Or Sonic Ride? No, not that one. What the fuck?
It's definitely not Sonic Riders. Yeah, definitely not Sonic Riders. That's the one with the green fucking bird. Yeah, that's the Xbox one. I'm sorry. Sonic Riders Zero Gravity?
No, Free Riders is the Xbox one. It was just Sonic Riders. Yeah, here it is. Hold on.
Oh.
Yeah,
shit.
Sonic Riders.
Oh, that is also available on Xbox. Oh, I see which one you're talking about. Yeah, Free Riders is also
Xbox, PlayStation 2, and GameCube. We played this game a lot. Obviously, Smash Bros. There's the Mario baseball game. That shit was cool. We played a couple of different things, and obviously Kirby's Air Ride. That shit was fun. I love those games.
Maybe I might have to download that.
You could play the old Samus games.
Super Mario Sunshine. Okay.
Yeah, Sunshine.
Metroid Prime was really not that fun. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Isn't it the new one?
I mean, there's supposed to be a new one eventually. When the fuck is that game even coming out? I really don't think Nintendo's dropping that shit, to be honest. We gotta get a Switch 2
I,
before
I thought that shit already came out. The new Metroid.
the new Metroid. No.
Prime Remastered.
A new Metroid. But
Oh, like a new installment.
yeah, but Metroid Prime 4, I think it is, or Metroid 4, I think. That's the
I
one
think
that
it's
was
4, yeah.
announced like when the Switch first came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting that game anytime soon.
Prime Remastered has already been out for a while.
Trying to get that Luigi's Mansion. Yes, sir.
Luigi's Mansion, classic.
Voted. See, I really don't see anything else in this list that I would be interested in playing. So maybe Mario Kart Double Dash, Pokemon Coliseum. Nah, I'm cool.
Those are good.
I'm cool off Pokemon Coliseum. Actually, I love the game.
Hey,
but-
Coliseum is an old one.
Yeah, I'm cool on it only because like the transition between Stadium and Coliseum was just something that was unmatched. Like that era of gaming will just never exist anymore. I'm for certain. Sonic Adventures 2,
sure.
I love that one. That shit was fire.
Oh god.
Yeah, I used to love playing that with my brothers. Shit was fun. Yeah, but that's about it. If you guys have any suggestions of Nintendo Switch games I should steal, emulate. Excuse me. Sorry.
We don't promote stealing over
yeah,
here. He was
allegedly-
joking.
Allegedly, yeah. It's
No,
all
not allegedly. We don't promote stealing.
yeah. It's all hee hee ha ha's. It's not even real. But if you guys have some suggestions for Switch games I should look into, because honestly, outside of the 2 fucking Zelda games I have and Xenoblade, I really don't have anything to play on the Switch. Like it's actually a boring console. Like there's literally nothing
Ouch.
to play. There's just nothing on there for me to play, man. I don't know what to tell
You got to play the deluxe Mario Kart 8 edition. Like, you got to think about that.
I really don't, if I'm gonna play some racing games, I'd rather play that new Need for Speed that I keep hearing about, that people are just saying is the greatest racing games of all time or some shit like that. I don't know what the fuck they're saying.
I don't think that's what they said.
Yeah, I don't think anybody said that, but whatever. It's probably the greatest racing game of all time, but who knows? I'll never know. So
True.
get that shit. See, Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Oh yeah, I saw a video for that. That shit seems fire. I actually watched some gameplay for Octopath Traveler 2. I heard the first Octopath Traveler was fucking amazing, but then when I looked up gameplay, I was like, this shit look boring as fuck, bro. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just old, but yeah. I saw Pokemon Scarlet and Violet had terrible reviews, so which I don't know how you fuck up a Pokemon game. So, and then outside of that, there's just I honestly don't know. I don't know how you fuck that up. So, I mean, even if I sat here for fucking 2 hours, I probably couldn't tell you how to fuck up a Pokemon game. So, I really couldn't. I don't think my brain would allow me to. So.
I feel that.
Mathematically, it just wouldn't fucking come together. So, Pokemon Arceus, apparently Apex Legends is on the Switch, No Man's Sky, Pokemon Unite. Oh, that's the League of Legends one. That shit look kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
I'm
of
not
course,
playing that shit.
yeah, online. I don't want to play that shit. So, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, yeah, Skyward Sword HD, Bravely Default 2. Yeah, I'm cool. So. Cool off all that shit. You can put all these games on Xbox.
Bruh.
Yeah, when exclusivity is over, put that shit on Game Pass, man. I'm ready for it. I'm wondering how long it's gonna be before Nintendo is forced to address the PC market.
I don't know.
If ever. Because they're not gonna keep selling these $300, $400 pieces of plastic, are they? Especially considering the Switch Pro that was
The
leaked.
OLED.
Yeah, not the OLED, the Pro. So I think we covered it on another episode, or it might have been on one of the YouTube exclusive episodes or something like that, where it's one of the short videos I did. So Phil Spencer, in his deposition, revealed specs and plans for a Nintendo Switch Pro, which is apparently supposed to rival the specs of the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. What's that doing for you?
I don't think I'll buy it unless it's really game changing. I don't really play many games on the Switch. I play like Smash Brothers and obviously Tears of the Kingdom, or not Tears of the Kingdom, but like the first Zelda,
Mhm.
Breath of the Wild. So, yeah, I mean, if it's, I think that would be nice, but would I pay another $300-400 for a console just for it to be a PS4?
Basically, you can
Hey, I
you
don't
can
know.
finally play your games at 30 frames a second, my boy. That
I'm
Bayonetta
good.
3 finna go crazy.
I think I'll be okay over
Titties in
here.
720p, baby.
Oh shit.
You don't want that?
My favorite. I love titties in
Hey.
720p.
Yikes.
Love that shit.
But yeah, I don't. I'm sorry. I wish I was on board with the rest of this, but I don't. I just can't vibe. Like as bad as I want to, like I'd be trying to find reasons to buy a Nintendo Switch. I was even talking to Deacon the other day, and he was like, "Jay, I'll give you my Switch for $100, cause I know you want one." And I was like, I'd rather keep $100 in my pocket, honestly. Like, I feel like I could get a lot more value out of $100 than a Nintendo Switch.
I mean, they want 70 per game now, so
Yeah, they can suck my dick from the back, honestly. That one.
you don't like that shit?
I mean, I don't even. Tears of the Kingdom, sure. Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild. Some games I actually want to fucking play. I played Hyrule Warriors the other day for the first time. Age of Calamity. That shit sucks. Although I can't say it sucks. It's a Dynasty Warriors game, so it's like really hack and slashy and blah 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 blah. It's garbage. I don't really like Dynasty Warrior games, to be honest. So
It's definitely an acquired taste.
yeah, for sure. Like even Monster
love
Hunter
that
was
shit,
kind of tough for me to get into for a while because it just felt like too slow and like repetitive. So and then a T-Rex started eating a giant lizard, and I was like, "Oh, that's that shit I was looking for! Yeah, I need more of that!" And then the game got boring again for another 2 hours until it happened again. So
That's tough.
yeah, it's just not my thing. I think I spent like 32, maybe 42. Hold on, let me pull up the Steam stats because I don't want people saying like, "Oh, Jay doesn't even play games," like, which I don't. I don't play video
Well, yeah,
games.
that is literally true. I don't know why you were trying to dispute that.
Yeah, well, some games I play, so especially if it's an RPG. Hold on, let me see. Monster Hunter World. That's a lie. I have 21 hours on the game. That's a lie. So
Damn.
that's not even. But that's just on Steam. That's not counting the PlayStation hours. So I don't. Yeah, I was way further in the PlayStation version than the PC version. So, and it's funny because I thought I played a bunch of other games for like a serious amount of time. I've only played 7 days for 400 hours, Apex for 830, which is definitely not true because I've left the game open a couple of times where I fell asleep and went to bed, went to work the next day, and Apex was still fucking running. So, Elden Ring has a very active 270 hours for sure. I think after that, Bleach Brave Souls with 1,130 hours, but that's a mobile game, so it's like, who gives a shit? And I think the one after that is probably like Disgaea 5 with 405 hours. So I'd be putting time into a ton of games, just not the games people would think I play a lot. So what about you? What would you say is your most played game? I don't know how we got to this topic, but I just didn't want to talk about Nintendo anymore.
I think my most played game over the span of years is Destiny, because I was playing it a lot for the last couple or before,
Pick
for
something
2 years
cool.
ago. Oh, damn.
What? I'm right.
I don't even know. I think Smite is up there. Yeah, Smite is up there with 420 hours.
Mhm.
Risk of Rain with 214 hours. Risk of Rain 2.
Mhm.
Let's see. Brawlhalla with 535 hours.
What's one game that shocks you that you have a ton of time in? Or like, what's one game that you thought you had a ton of time in, but you really don't?
Fuck, there's probably a lot of those.
Yeah, mine is definitely. I thought I put way more time into Rainbow Six Siege. I only have 200 hours, so I definitely thought I was playing that game for way longer than that.
I think. Hold on, let me check where my Cyberpunk hours are.
Oh yikes!
Fuck.
Oh yeah,
I think
my
I have like
Cyberpunk
100.
hours are probably up there.
I think I'm at 100 or something. I have a decent amount in Counter-Strike and CS:GO, but I played that 4 years ago.
Yeah, you were cooking in that shit. My other one would be probably Warframe.
Ooh.
Yeah, 300 some odd hours with that. So,
Ooh.
and that's on the
I tried
PC
Warframe.
version.
I couldn't like it. I didn't really like it.
For somebody who plays Destiny, that's very interesting that you didn't like Warframe. It does take a lot to get started, though.
Yeah, doing that story mode, it had me like I was literally losing.
Yeah. It's boring.
I almost fell asleep.
Yeah, the story mode really is a fucking snoozer. So.
And you can't even get like the good frames until really later, and it takes hours on hours to get the good frames.
You really don't get your first prime until like at least 100 hours in. Which makes
that should have me
a ton of the content like not playable. So, and it's only gotten worse over time because like, you know, with more DLC packs and shit like that, like they're just cooking in that game. So I think they at one time they even came up with like a monthly subscription thing that gave you enough, like after 2 or 3 months or something like that, you could just buy a prime frame. But really, I guess if you're playing for a whole month of Warframe, you're able to unlock that shit anyway. So let me see.
Oh, For Honor is a game I have a decent amount of hours in. Hold on, I gotta check my Ubisoft.
Here's a shocker for me. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. I only have 12 hours in the game.
Is that's just on PC?
That's just on PC. Yeah, I've completed the game on PlayStation, obviously. And then when I was playing with Heavenly, so that's only 12 hours. So, and then another surprising statistic, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, 108 hours. That's it. Like, I was expecting way more than that. So, I don't know how. I think I have more time in Dead or Alive 5 than I do Dragon Ball Xenoverse. So,
ew.
Nope, that's not true. Dead or Alive 5, I have 32 minutes. So, thank God.
32 minutes is crazy.
God. Yeah, you bust your nut and then you turn the game off, man. Who cares?
You do what?
I have 61 hours on Smite. I used to love playing that. So.
Yeah, Smite was a fun game. Hold on, let me check. I hate Ubisoft Connect. Oh my god, it's taking 37 years to load.
Nice. I love it. I love that for you. In the meantime, while you do that, let me go ahead and pull up this last article so we can get the hell out of here, because I'm sure people are absolutely done listening to us talk. So this comes from trueachievements.com, which is obviously a reputable source. I've never heard from them, so they obviously must tell nothing but the truth on the internet. Ubisoft CEO says Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal is good news, especially coming from Yev Guillemot, whose company has been on the downward spiral. I think they lost like 17% of their staff, by the way. So Ubisoft is really, yeah, they, after the fucking multiple delays, the cancellation of Good and Evil 2, like, well, it's not canceled, it's just pretty much shit canned. Like, I don't think they have anybody working on that project. So he's really rubbing his hands together like Birdman, because he really think Microsoft's gonna come and save him, honestly. He's ready to get the fuck up. Yeah, honestly, the way that this guy's been steering the ship, and I don't know if it's just him or if it's his board of directors and everything, but he's kind of like the main figurehead for Ubisoft. They've had shit like X-Defiant, The Crew, this new Prince of Persia is probably going to take the wrong direction, in my honest opinion. Skull and Bones, the delay of all of the Assassin's Creed games, and really just like losing perspective of... I knew they were definitely going in the wrong direction when the game director for Assassin's Creed Black Flag, you know, the same guy who made Assassin's Creed Origins what it was, when he spent 21 years at the company. No, I'm sorry, not 21. He spent 17 years at the company and decided to quit because of the direction the company was going. Now, you don't just spend 17 years at a company and then decide you want to dip. So there's definitely something going on there. So I don't know what Ubisoft is up to. I honestly don't care. I'm interested to see the Star Wars game. If we ever get Beyond Good and Evil 2, that's great. I never played the first one, but I'm excited for the second one. Mirage, and then after that, I think I'm gonna get this Ubisoft tattoo etched off my body. So.
You have a what?
Huh?
Oh no!
It's a figure of speech, man. It's a figure of speech. Calm down. God
oh.
damn. Jesus Christ.
Oof.
Besides, it's a brand.
It's a what?
Huh?
What the fuck?
Anyway, so Ubisoft has packed a slate between now and the end of March 31st of next year that includes several big mobile games. I don't know why they thought going mobile. I guess because gacha games are profitable in other parts of the world, which I guess is cool, I guess, with Assassin's Creed Jade, which that's its temporary name, The Division Resurgence. I didn't realize we needed a mobile game for The Division, which is basically just The Division 1, by the way. I've played it, it's shit. Rainbow Six Mobile, which, yeah, we didn't really fucking need that either.
We definitely didn't need that.
No, absolutely not. And then, of course, they have Assassin's Creed Mirage, Avatar, something of Pandora, Just Dance 24 edition, the new Prince of Persia, Skull and Bones. Pretty much everything except for the games that I want. So, yeah, they're looking for a buyout, for sure. Yev Guillemot just seems like that type of guy, man. I don't know what it is, but something smells like, he needs to get the fuck up out of there. So, how you feeling about that?
Hey, man. Honestly, I need Ubisoft to go back to what they used to be.
What was
like
that?
making decent games at least, right?
When did they even make decent games aside from Assassin's Creed 2?
There wasn't that. Wait, I forgot what the fucking game was. Hold on.
Ghost Recon was almost all of those games are kind
Splinter
of shit.
Cell.
Splinter Cell. Okay, yes sir, we're on it. Okay.
There was the old Rainbow Six. What is it? Was it Vegas?
Rainbow Six Vegas.
Vegas
yeah.
2?
Team Tactical.
Vegas
Type
2.
B. Yeah. Yep. Far Cry 3.
Far Cry 3. Blood Dragon.
Yeah, Blood Dragon. Yeah, we'll give it that. So really, those are like 4 different eras of Ubisoft. Cause I'll give him points for Rayman too. Shit, fuck it, why not?
Yeah, Rayman.
Yeah, those are like 4 or 5 different eras of Ubisoft, and then 8 out of 10 of their games were stinkers.
Yeah.
Just being real. Like, majority of their games were doo-doo butter. So.
And they won't fix it either.
Yeah. Not at all. But this motherfucker, Yev Guillemot, is looking for Captain Save-A-Ho. That's what it is.
Hey, man, someone can do it.
Yeah, he says right here, he knows that Microsoft values high influence IPs. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it is what it is. And Microsoft is saying that the mobile part of the Activision deal is very important. Yev goes on to say, so all the investment we are making to be stronger on mobile are also in line with that. So all of those elements will help the value of the company to grow. Yeah, this man's trying to sell the company. So, which does not bode well for me. In January, Ubisoft said it had canceled 3 unannounced games as it moved to double down on its biggest IPs and live services. Yeah, Yev Guillemot, I think it was what? E3 2017, 2018, I think it was, because it was definitely pre-COVID. I remember we were sitting in the Discord and talking about it, and he said he wanted to double down on live service games, and then that was before the Division 2 dropped. He said how important that is to the industry and how that's going to change over time. Yeah, suck a fucking fat fart, you piece of shit. Because of you and perpetuating this, like, you just had the entire company go, nah, man, I'm really kind of mad about this, because outside of Assassin's Creed, there were definitely great games that they could have produced and could have had out already, but they just, I don't know who's responsible for those decisions, but it lands square on him because he's the figurehead and he's the current CEO. So I can't blame anybody else but his fucking decision making. So, yeah.
I get it. They ruined your favorite series, Watch Dogs.
Oh man, I completely forgot about that. Oh shit. Man,
here we go.
Yo, I was thinking Ghost Recon, Assassin's Creed, all these other ones. I forgot about Watch Dogs. Oh my god, yeah, big fucking stinker. Absolutely not. This company needs to fucking burn in hell. Absolutely. I hope the fucking stock drops and Microsoft just rapes them for everything that they're not worth. Holy
What
shit.
the fuck?
Get the fuck out of here. I said what I said. But anyway, that's
Oh my god.
I don't got nothing else to add, man. Xbox console exclusivity seemingly leaked for PlayStation. Hello? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, it's by Screen Rant, so I don't know how trustworthy it is. So
Is that all you got? You got any more? Any more
No.
rage to get on
No,
old
that's pretty
Ubisoft?
much it. It's just rumors that High on Life is coming to PlayStation, which I
Yeah,
kinda
we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. I kind of saw that coming, but to title something Xbox console exclusives seemingly leaked for PlayStation, like, come on, bro. Come on.
Was High on Life an exclusive? I don't remember.
High on
if
Life
it was.
is an exclusive, yes. It dropped day one on Game Pass and on Xbox platforms, so not even
okay.
available on PC technically. But yeah, that's
There you go.
very interesting. One more thing I want to talk about today, before we get on out of here. I know this was a very gaming centered episode. I guess two more things. I also wanted to talk about the Elden Ring DLC and how I thought that was gonna shape out to be, but I think we'll talk about that another time when there's more information.
When there's more information.
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and I think the show is. I don't know when the show is gonna release, but hopefully it's soon.
Yeah,
We can see how that works.
That'd be nice. So there's a new trend on TikTok. Obviously, Plank knew I was going to talk about this at some point. I was kind of dreading it, to be honest, but I needed to pad the last 10 minutes of the show. Because we're fucking losers and nobody listens to the goddamn show. Yeah, if you didn't know, if you were living under a rock or decided to get TikTok off your phone because you don't want the Chinese listening to your conversations about the groceries that you're picking up at Walmart this week, there is a new TikTok trend that is going on for live streams called the NPC trend.
Oh no.
Which honestly has been around for like way, such a really fucking long time, by the way. People used to do that shit on MySpace. Yeah, MySpace. That was like a early YouTube era thing where it's like, but it was used for like short films and stuff like that. So, I could see how you would get that. But anyway, that has been a very drastic trend being popularized by none other than Pinky Dolls. So shout out to her. She is a Canadian. I think she's Canadian.
No, I think I don't even know.
Yeah,
I'm not
I
gonna
think she's
speculate.
Canadian. Yeah. Hold on. Let me do some research here. Like I'm an actual fucking journalist here.
Like you're a reputable source.
Yeah, truly. Otherwise, why would people listen to this fucking podcast in the first place? Oh, I can't because NBC News wants me to turn off my ad blocker so they can kind of suck my dick from the back while I shit down their esophagus because I'm not doing that shit.
Jesus.
Ice cream so good meme. Here it is. Hold on, right here.
Good lord.
Shout out to Forbes. Creator Pinky Doll. Yeah, they don't cite where she's from. So anyway, yeah, she's cool. She's been doing this kind of weird NPC trend where, you know, you go into an idol type of thing and people are doing repetitive motions and things. You saw the Miles Morales one, obviously. I think that was
unfortunately seen a lot of them.
Yeah, that's probably been one of the most cringy things. I mean, it was cool until it started exploding onto my fucking TikTok timeline or For You page. Because I don't ever watch TikTok lives just because I don't really want to be on my phone like that. For the same reason I don't watch Instagram lives. It's just fucking weird. Like I don't really watch live streamers unless it's like a notable like person playing something that I actually give a shit about. But it just seems so very interesting to see what people will do for money. And Plank actually had a good take on this the other day. Something about people selling their humanity. What was it you were saying?
Oh yeah, it's funny how like I think like that the phone and the internet has kind of stolen our humanity, and now we're willingly giving it up on like doing this shit. It's very unnerving how what people will do for like a little bit of money or a little bit of XYZ. It's scary, and I get like, you know, get your bag or whatever, but I don't know, looking at it from that perspective. It makes me feel a little nervous for the future, I guess.
People just don't want to work, man. That's what it is. And I don't mean to say that like people don't want to work, like the fucking
The old man take.
Yeah, not the old man take. I mean, like, human beings now do not like sitting at a desk from 9 to 5. Human beings do not like serving other shitty human beings in customer service of any kind. Like, especially when there are multiple thousands of ways to get money by sitting at home on the internet. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. And I think because of that, we have had one of two things happen. Growth opportunity, for sure. The advancement of technology and like thought and stuff like that, it has obviously gone too far in some places and in some categories and some genres. But also the fact that people have been able to develop dope shit from home. So I don't know, man. This is a very slippery slope, especially with like AI on the rise the way it is, and people are concerned about that, which I don't think we'll be concerned about that for another, I want to say 10 years, but that's not true. I think it's going to be probably like the next 2 to 5 years. Yeah. Somewhere in between the next 2 to 5 years, because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to admit this on this podcast because we're super deep into it. And I know nobody's going to listen to this far. If you do, let us know. Put it in the comment section that you watched the video this far or listen this far. Hit us up on social. I decided to take a dive the other day into AI porn, obviously. Because shit. You know me, I'm a scientist. I like to bend the bounds of whatever technology I find.
Sure.
Listen, man. Hey, sometimes you have to exploit some stuff, to find out what its uses really are. Now we got fire thumbnails from it, so don't say nothing to me.
Oh yeah, for the.
Yes, sir. So you got to be able to use these applications. I mean, it's honestly the same thing as it was in the medical industry and experimenting for 20 plus years, specifically on Black people within the medical space and the Tuskegee experiments and things like that have existed, specifically exploiting Black people. Come on now, you gotta bend it until it breaks, my boy. And I have seen some wild stuff, man. My eyes have glanced and stared and come across some of the most vile and yet interesting things I have ever seen in my entire life. Which I don't know if I like the idea of AI porn or I'm okay with it. I'm not really sure. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Because it removes the exploitation of women and people in general, human beings, could potentially reduce by like probably like a fucking hair, sex trafficking and shit like that. The physical exploitation of, like revenge porn and shit like that. Like it could potentially slow that down, but could open a whole nother Pandora's box of some other shit. So, I don't know. It might be something. So, especially because with some AI, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was able to make some stuff that looked like some people I know. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it there. So, take what you will.
No way you just admitted that.
Yeah. Take what you will with that, and just know. Don't piss me off. How about that?
Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? There's no way you just said that.
The internet is anonymous, my boy. Just remember that. But
until they find your location.
Yeah, but it says I'm located in Russia. Aha. So turn the VPN on for the VPN. But that's pretty much going to be it for me today, man. Plank, you got anything you want to get off your chest? Anything you want to talk about?
I think we got it. After that last little section, I don't think there's anything else I can really follow up with.
Yeah.
So I'll be on my best behavior on the podcast for the next couple weeks. No pissing Jay off. things of that nature.
That's it, man. Hey, all I gotta do is look at a picture of you, and that's it. It's over for you.
Okay.
It's over for you. Don't, man, yo. And then there's this one tool I have, yo. It's fucking crazy, bro. Where you literally can take somebody's picture, and you know what? Never mind. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to this week's episode of the Canon Culture Podcast. We'll see you next week. If you were watching the video version, we really appreciate that. Make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments about, some of the topics that you thought were interesting today. Make sure to subscribe because we need lots more subscribers. Also, make sure to share these clips and shit like that with people on social media. Matter of fact, if you share any clips on TikTok and you tag us in it, we're gonna repost it and we're gonna put it in the next episode. How about that? We also want to say thank you to our 2 patrons. We really honestly would not do this show without you guys. Let's be clear. Like 7 views of video and 2 patrons every single week. Yeah, we actually like that shit. We appreciate it. So not to say like, oh yeah, we're not getting anything. No, we absolutely love you because we wouldn't do this without you guys. So also, if you were listening to the audio version and you want to participate in the conversation, make sure to scroll down to the description. Just jump on down there, click a couple of the links, follow us on socials, and join the conversation for next week, man. But with that being said, we'll see you guys next time. Make sure to keep it canon.